Okay, welcome back to our realignment series, where we realigned every conference to make them geographical, and this is the week 4 wrap-up video. So we're going to cover three things. We're going to cover the top 25, the conference standings, and we're going to see who's in line to win the Heisman. So let's start off with the top 25. And the media poll has Ohio State remaining at number 1, along with Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, and Utah. So NC State with a big win over Clemson moved up. Let's see, scroll down here real quick. There's been a couple changes. A couple teams moved up. Clemson obviously lost to NC State, so they moved down. And Oklahoma State and Kansas with both losses are moving towards the bottom. All right, so that's the media poll. Check out the coaches real quick. A lot of the same teams are in the top 7. Looks like a little bit of mix and match there. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, and Michigan all in the top 5. Let's see if there's any changes at the bottom. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. Okay, so there's the top 25, but that's not the most important thing in this league. The most important thing is the conference standings, and we'll go conference by conference. And we'll start off with the ACC with big surprise, Syracuse at the top of it, the only 5-0 team. Them and NC State are the only undefeated. NC State moved up from number 9 to number 6 after beating Clemson at home. So you got those two teams, Florida. Clemson's still in the top 5 in the league, and Miami's the only other team with one overall loss. Florida State only has one conference loss. We'll scroll to the bottom here because this is also important because the last place team will go into a relegation game. And looks like West Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Virginia are all in jeopardy of being there. So let's go to their relegation conference, which is the American Conference. Boston College and East Carolina are at the top of this. So those two teams have the best chance to get to play their way into the ACC. The next conference we'll go to is the Big Ten. So you got Iowa and Michigan at the top. Ohio State is obviously undefeated, but only have played one conference game thus far. So those three teams are battling for the conference. And let's look at the bottom here and see who has a chance to get kicked out of it. It's like Michigan State is the worst team, with Purdue and Illinois hot on their tails. So their relegation conference is the MAC. And you got Buffalo is undefeated, and then you got Miami University is undefeated. Ohio does have 2 conference wins, so they still could be the team that gets into the relegation game. All right, next conference is going to be the SEC. Gets usual suspect Georgia is up there, but along with South Carolina and Mississippi State. Alabama and LSU still undefeated in the conference. Let's look at the bottom here. And wow, Vanderbilt's only played 2 games so far. And you got Tennessee 0-2 in the conference, not looking good for them. So their relegation conference is Conference USA. And UAB with a commanding 4-0 conference and 5-0 overall lead. Looks like they're going to get a chance to play their way into the SEC at the end of the season. Next, we'll go over the Big 12. You get 3 teams that are undefeated in conference, and TCU is the only one undefeated overall. So Missouri, Texas Tech, and TCU. A lot of teams have just one conference loss. At the bottom, you got Arkansas and Troy. Not surprising that Troy is down there at 0-4. And then their relegation conference is the Sun Belt. You got Arkansas State, another commanding lead up there, undefeated, conference and overall. Played a lot of home games so far. And finally, the Pac-12. Oh, you got a little battle at the top here. You got BYU and Oregon, both undefeated in conference and overall. Shocking that BYU isn't even ranked. That doesn't make any sense. They should be. And then you got Utah also undefeated with only playing 2 games so far. So a lot of teams must have had some bye weeks early on in the season. And you got Oregon State not looking so good. USC right along with them. Those 2 teams have a good chance to get relegated. And then their relegation conference is the Mountain West. You got a couple military institutes up here, the Navy and Army. Colorado State along with them. So that would be pretty neat to see one of the Army or Navy or one of the military institutes get a chance to move up to a power conference. All right, so there's your conference standings. Let's go ahead and check out the Heisman Watch real quick, see if there's any changes there. Top 3 stay the same. Which you got Jacob Zeno out of UAB, Haynes King at Georgia Tech, Eli Holstein out of Pitt, freshman, red shirt. And you get 2 new guys moving in to the top 5. You got Denzel Boston at Washington and BJ Alexander, who was up there earlier in the season, so he's back in. He moves into the 5th spot. So there you have it. This is our week 4 wrap-up video. I did post the game of the week. It was Clemson at NC State, and that one turned out pretty interesting. A little actually shocking how that game played out, too. So if you get a chance, I'll put the link in the description for both that game and also how I created this league. I have a whole video on how I divided the conference up regionally, so please check that out. And if you can, I'd love it if you gave me a like. Throw some comments in there, see anything you'd like to see that I'm not doing already. And please subscribe to the channel. But until next game, I'll see you guys after week 5.